Hi everyone, welcome to my playthrough of Neverwinter. So Neverwinter is a D&D based online game and is set in a multiplayer world, but we shall not be seeing that till a little later into this video. So I'm going to take you guys right from character creation because honestly, playing these games, one of my favourite bits is making up my character. Now, I know it's not everyone else's cup of tea, so I will try to be a little quicker at this than I would be if I was playing for pleasure. So, here you have your first character creation screen, and you first have to pick a male or a female. So it auto chose for me this time round a male, but this is the female, which is what I'm going to choose, and it auto chooses a race for you, but you can change that to whatever you want. I'm going to ban myself from playing as a half elf. It is a little cheaty because you tend to get the benefits from being human and the benefits from being an elf, and it's a little overpowered, and I want to get you guys to see a much more realistic playthrough. We've got a tiefling, which is handy for you guys who like being sneaky and stealing from people. They tend to be really good at that. If you're a bit darker in character, a drow is definitely up there. We've got your human wood elves, so good at being a ranger, also pretty good at most magic based classes. Your sun elf, much brighter character, tends to be actually make pretty good. I think in this one their clerics does vary a little. I'm not a big fan of playing as a dwarf, so I'm going to skip over that. And honestly, I'm just going to choose halfling, partially because they are a little more difficult to play with, and partially because I think they're just really cute. So next, it asks you to choose a class, and this is where a little forward planning helps. So if you want to get the best out of your character, matching your class with your race is super helpful. So the options here, you can start with your clerics, which is using religion-based magic to mostly heal. They can do also deal damage, but they tend to be more healers. Great against the undead though, which you'll meet a lot in early levels. For those of you who like to slash and dash, a barbarian is very good, very strong, need a high strength here. You've got your warlock, not to be confused down here with a wizard. And the mechanics of how those two work vary a little from game to game, and it's mostly just a lore based thing here because the mechanics are pretty similar on how they work. You just have different spells available to you. For anyone who likes a challenge, there's always a bard. Again, for your slash and dash, you've got a fighter. They tend to be smaller, faster than your barbarians. And for my friends out there who like to be sneaky and steal things, this is the perfect class for you. Being a rogue, A paladin, very similar to a cleric in how their powers came to be. However, they tend to have a bit more damage ability in most cases. And for those of you who like being in touch with your ranger, your nature, a ranger's a good choice. You don't get a druid in this class pack, which is actually something I miss. I like playing as a druid. And I normally do play as a ranger. So you do get a nice range ability and melee ability, so this is kind of really nice. But I fancy a bit of a challenge, and I don't play as a wizard too often. So I'm going to choose a wizard. Also doesn't work too well with the race I chose, but we'll go with it. So our initial ability scores are actually pretty helpful. I'm just going to select my racial ability scores down here. So each race gets 2 choices. One of the 2 things in your choices is normally shared between both of them, which in my case is the dexterity. But for my class, being charismatic is helpful, so I'm going to choose the dexterity and charisma. Now this is personal, it's just choosing your outward appearance. So I will try and take a little time, but I will flick through a few different options. Ooh, what did they do to the skin of that? Kind of looks like an orange. That's weird. Okay, it's better. Slightly odd jaw shape. I think I'm going for this one. Now, I like characters with long hair, so let's see, what have we got? Yeah, I'm not sure that suits the face shape I've got. Not keen on that either. Yeah, this face was not designed for bangs. Let's see, what have we got? What do we have here? Now I like this. Yeah, that's pretty. We'll go with that. Eyes. Now, one of the things I do like about the character creation for Neverwinter is the eyes. You get a nice range of them. So you can get things like a hurt eye, blind eyes, but you also get complete choice on your pupil size. So you can get no pupil, tiny pupil, small pupil, medium, large, and giant. And you can also choose the colour, which I think I'm gonna go for... Is that blue? That looks green. I selected blue. So I am a little colourblind, so if that is blue and I'm just really mistaken, then please feel free to tell me otherwise, but it looked really green to me. I want a light blue. That looks green again. Oh, that looks really green. Greeny blue? Yeah, we'll go greeny blue, because I don't want to be here all day finding the light blue. Eyebrows. Let's go for something natural. Natural. Let's see. Yep, that'll do. Not interested in tattoos, scars, face scaling. Let's just see if we can find jaw width. There's jaw width. I just wanna see what that looks like a little. And maybe a slightly longer head. Head height. Okay. And a little bit of a longer neck. There we go. Just... let's see, what do these look like? I'm just going to go for that one, because why not? And yeah, we'll just... that will work for us. So here, this one is entirely lore based. So for those of you who are used to games like Neverwinter Nights and the like, you guys will be very familiar with a lot of these places, like the Dragon Coast, Baldur's Gate, Waterdeep, Neverwinter and Luskan. So it does not affect gameplay at all, but it can be fun when you're interacting with other players on the server, looking at what you chose at this point. So I'm going to choose kind of somewhere out in the middle of nowhere, and we shall go for... ooh, where was she again? Yeah, they've moved this around a little, but we shall go for the deity of knowledge, because we're a wizard and that kind of makes sense. So just add a name and we shall be done. So this is your public name when you're on the server. This is what everyone shall see what you're called, so try to avoid being silly here. And that is the basics of character creation. Now here we have a very, very pretty unskippable cutscene. And honestly, it looks amazing. It just does not reflect gameplay at all. It's also pretty long, so you guys will probably see some of it, but not all of it.
To brace yourselves for this. Well, that didn't go so badly.
Get his attention. Cleric,
$10 was
Okay, so when you come out of the cutscene, she'll load you in this base camp, which is supposed to be just after the cutscene, as if you were in the fight itself. And this is where you're going to learn the basics of gameplay and your character's class ability. So we are just going to go talk to this guy here. So you'll see these glittery trios on the floor. You'll actually see them a lot throughout the game. And they just lead you to your current quest waypoints. So for us, that's to talk to Lieutenant Linkletter.
So you can still walk. You were in bad shape when we pulled you from the front line. I don't know how I feel about untested adventurers volunteering their aid in this fight, but my men need all the help they can get. That blasted Dracolich is tearing through our ranks. Protector's Enclave needs reinforcements. Fight your way to the Sleeping Dragon Bridge. If you see a particularly imposing tiefling, that's Makos. Do what you can to aid him. Before you go, make sure to arm yourself for the trials
So
ahead.
he's just asking us to do what we can to help fight our way through the next area. So you'll come over here, collect your equipment that's specific to you. Now you can put it on from the inventory, but I prefer to put it on here, just because then you can see the full choices you have for each slot. So we have some basic armor, a crystal orb and a talisman, which are the main tools for a wizard. And that's everything, as you can see, that I've picked up, apart from a handful of healing potions. So these campfires here, they're all in safe zones, pretty much exclusively. And they are just there to allow you to heal from injuries and to do some regeneration. So our next task is to explore our powers. So for a wizard, you start with, on your left hand key, a power that's very similar to Magic Missile. And on your right hand key, Ray of Frost. And you're just going to use that. Your encounter powers are keyed to Q, E and R. And I will show you what each of the two I've got to start with are. So Q hangs my target while dealing a significant amount of damage, which is great for incapacitating them and allowing you to get some things done while they're a bit busy. E is a pushback power, which you will not see here because it is a training dummy. So once you've completed that, you will be allowed through this gate, past the guard, and you'll get to practice this for the first time with some very lovely skeletons here. Although some of you might encounter rotters as well. Now as a wizard, you are pretty much exclusively range powers at this point, so staying still is probably not going to be your best friend and will probably kill you. Well, I'll say probably, it's pretty much guaranteed to kill you in very, very quickly. So as you guys can see, I am using a dodge power, which is keyed to shift. It does use stamina, so be careful not to overuse it, but it does get you out of pickles a bit faster. So yeah, here we've got some rotters, which are your basic zomballs. Okay. Ooh, like the sound of that fire. Blue fire, yes, probably best not to go walk into that. But you do regen as you heal, as you walk, as long as you're not in any actual combat. So just gonna stay put. We have to stay put to use Ray of Frost. Does not work if you try and move. But it does freeze them, so it is quite handy for keeping them away from you. just gonna jump over this log, avoiding the fire. Oh, can't see what diddly squat. What's behind here? Ooh. Let's help these guards out. I think I was actually aiming for the one right in front of me here, but here we go. We're just going to help these guards out with these lovely zombies. I'll say lovely. Very unfriendly throw-ins. So we're just going to fight our way through. Trying not to get startled by the sudden appearance of dead bodies falling out of the sky with some magic fire. Let's finish you off. And shift backwards, give ourselves more space. Now, it does take a little bit of time as a basic character to get these guys dead, but use your class's abilities at their best, so help you out. That would generally mean ranged weapons. People who require ranged weapons and magic, try and not stay still too long, and it is a common mistake for lower level players who rely on range. Staying still a little too long and allowing things to deal you a lot of damage. If you're a melee fighter, however, getting up and close and personal does help a bit. So this is our next waypoint. If you are needing to heal after that, there's a lovely campfire here.